In the headlines, 1 dead, 3 injured in Kuje prison attack. President Buhari effects cabinet reshuffle, gives new ministers portfolio. Mourners trooping to Abuja residence of late OPEC Secretary General. And away from Nigeria, Highland Park parade shooting suspect charged with 7 counts of first-degree murder. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thank you for joining. At least 1 person has died, while 3 others were injured in an attack on the Kuje Correctional Center in Abuja, the nation's capital. On Tuesday evening, explosions and gunshots were heard from the correctional center, causing confusion among residents of Kuje area. The federal government has now confirmed that suspected Boko Haram terrorists stormed the facility to rescue their members. The permanent secretary of the Ministry of Interior, Shuaibu Belgore, said on Wednesday during a visit to the facility that about 600 prison inmates fled in the attack. He, however, gave assurances that over 300 of the inmates have been rearrested.
994 is the population of inmates, and when they broke out with approximately, because these people came specifically, we understand they are Boko Haram, they came specifically for their co-conspirators, but in order to get them, some of them are in general population, so they broke out, and other people in that general population escaped as well. But many of them have returned. They have reported themselves to the police. Some have returned. Some we have successfully retrieved from the bushes where they are hiding, and right now at least we have retrieved about 300 out of about 600 that got out of the jail cells. And the retrieval is going on. We receive reports that there are still about 50-60 that have been intercepted somewhere just a little outside town here. And you will have heard the helicopters hovering overhead. They are locating the different locations where these people are. The military checkpoints and police checkpoints from here to Abadi, from here to Suleja, from here to town, everywhere. Everybody is on high alert. And the inmates are being retrieved even as we speak. We don't know how many were killed among the attackers, but it's quite possible that they took their injured and other casualties with them. But on our side, just one death and about 3 injuries.
Now, President Muhammadu Buhari has sworn in 7 ministers recently screened and confirmed by the Senate. The brief swearing-in event was done in 2 batches of 4 and 3 each before the start of the Federal Executive Council meeting at the State House in Abuja. The first batch to be sworn in were Henry Ikechukwu Iko, and then Abia State, Umana Okon Umana, Akwa Ibom State, Udum Odi from Rivers State, and then you also have the second batch, which included Umar Ibrahim Eliakub, Kano State, Goodluck Nana Opia, Imo State, and Joseph Nkama, Ebonyi State. 5 ministers were moved around due to the cabinet reshufflement, while the new ones were assigned portfolios. The portfolios of the new ministers and reshufflement of 5 old ministers include Umana Okon Umana, Minister of Niger Delta, and Gbemisola Saraki, Minister of State, Mines and Steel Development, Dr. Olorunibe Mamora, Minister of Science and Technology, Sharon Ikazu, Minister of State, Niger Delta Affairs, and Muazu Jaji Sambo, Minister of Transportation. Others were Umar Ibrahim Eliakub, Minister of State, Works and Housing, Goodluck Nana Opia, Minister of State Education, and Joseph Nkama, Minister of State, Health, Iko Henry Ikechukwu, Minister of State, Science and Technology, Odum Udi, Minister of State, Environment, and Ademola Adewale Adegoroye, Minister of State Transportation. In the meantime, President Muhammadu Buhari will leave Abuja Wednesday, July 6 to participate in the International Development Association for Africa Summit in Dakar, Senegal. The president will be accompanied on the trip by the Ministers of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyema, Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, as well as Industry, Trade and Investment, Adeni Adebayo. The Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, in a statement issued on Wednesday, said IDA is an institution of the World Bank Group, deepening its support to drive a resilient recovery for countries hit by global crisis of climate and COVID-19. Now, the Abuja residence of the late Secretary General, Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, Sanusi Barakindo, is attracting mourners who were shaken by the sudden death on Tuesday. Friends and relatives described the former group managing director of NNPC as a detribalized Nigerian who treated all fairly and equally without discrimination. They said Barakindo died at a time the country required his service to navigate socio-economic turbulence occasioned by drops in oil revenues.
He's a good man. It's a pity. Let us pray for his soul to rest in peace. Yeah, to rest in our Lord and rest in peace. Yeah, he's a good man.
Oh, the life of the man is so surprising that I saw him yesterday when he come back from the villa. He was sitting with us, everybody sitting. He was having some visitors that came to him. Later on, we just have this accidentally news about around 11 o'clock that his collapse. He's a very nice man and he's very good to the public, and he works for so long in OPEC and both worldwide in the whole country.
Is such a detribalized Nigeria that I've ever seen. You don't care where you come from. Once you are resourceful, anything you want from him, he gives to you without looking back. The death is so painful. In fact, I'm not as I'm talking now, it's hard to believe.
Relatives of the Abuja-Kaduna train attack victims on Wednesday staged a peaceful street protest demanding the release of their loved ones who have been in captivity for 100 days. The protest commenced from Nepa roundabout to other streets in the Kaduna metropolis. Civil society groups and trade union congress participated in the peaceful protest, calling on government to rescue the remaining victims.
With us, one can only imagine what our loved ones have been going through in these last 100 days in the deep forest. You know, the same clothes, no clean water to drink, no medical care. A lot of them are sick. One has even been shot and is injured. We don't know his condition now. We have been talking to the government. We have been appealing to the government security agencies in the last 100 days to rescue our loved ones. But so far, we have not seen much. It is really very disappointing. We are appealing again to the government to do all that is necessary to bring out our loved ones in the shortest time possible. If we all remember, our loved sisters, they are extra in the bush. In the bush. Today we're just 3 days away from Eid al-Kabir. We are praying that they will spend the Eid al-Kabir with us.
A 23-year-old lady, Mercy Jeremiah, has been shot dead around Tudunwada village of Lugbe, Abuja. Mercy, according to our reporter, was shot in the stomach by an armed robber after she raised alarm that she was being attacked by thieves around 6:30 in the morning while on her way to work. Maradia Umar visited the community and now reports.
It was a sad day not just for Mercy's family, but the entire Judu community, as the news of her death threw almost everyone who have come across her into mourning. Mercy, before her death, lived with her elder brother in this house, situated in the Judu community, a few meters to Tudunwada, Lugbe. Due to the bad nature of the roads, residents in this community had to walk few meters to a junction that borders Judu and Tudunwada, where Mercy met her assailants. Eze Collins is a commercial motorcyclist. He tried to save Mercy's life after he heard her cry.
I can't see the people gather, see one girl for ground, lie down. Then they asked me to help. I dropped my passenger. I carry my passenger and now I discharge the passenger. Carry this girl to Yabison Hospital. As we went there, they reject her and say they no fit do waiting there for this matter. From the Yabison to National Hospital. Now this morning I come out. I don't even know some person where they live with me for the same street. Now this morning I come to hear say this girl could not make it.
When we visited Mercy's apartment, the house was under lock and key, but we met her neighbor who's yet to come to terms with the fact that Mercy is gone.
Now so I take see that thing. Now we just hear say the girl don't die, then shoot her. This to Dunwada road. If we dey go to Dunwada like this, she dey go work. Maybe she no see bike. So if we know she bike for Judu, we go trek go to Dunwada before we see Okada. Before she even reach the Okada, this to Dunwada road. We just hear say the girl don't die. They don't shoot her. She die. Mercy is a gentle lady. She know they fight. She go just greet you, go her own way. She know they fight. She know they quarrel.
After a little interaction with Mercy's neighbor, we got across to the only relative she has in Abuja, her elder brother, who was at Lugbe police station completing processes leading to the release of his sister's remains for her burial in their hometown, Kogi State. He could not hold back tears as he asked for justice for his only sister.
Those people said when they came out, they saw the guy who murdered her running across into the bush. They were shouting, but nobody because it was drizzling a little and the road was somehow scanty. So then, before I would get to the mortuary to see her lie the coat of blood, my sister was murdered and she could not even tell me bye-bye. She could not even tell me, brother, bye-bye before. And I'm looking onto the government and onto everybody who can come to my rescue and my assist to bring my sister justice. Justice. That's all I'm looking for.
In a telephone chat, the FCT Police Public Relations Officer Josephine Ade said investigation is ongoing. Martia Umar, Trust TV News Abuja.
You're watching the news update on Trust Television. Coming up shortly. Coping with rising food prices. Details and more shortly. Thanks for staying and watching the news update on Trust Television. Here's a reminder of our top stories. 1 dead, 3 injured in Kuje prison attack. President Buhari effects cabinet reshuffle, gives new ministers portfolio. In other news, a mild drama ensued on Tuesday at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, when the Executive Secretary, Niger State Pilgrims Welfare Board, Umar Makun Lapai, stopped the Chairman, National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, Zirkullah Hassan, from boarding a plane for Hajj in Saudi Arabia. Lapai, who stated this in a telephone interview with newsmen from Mina, said that he could not allow the Chairman, National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, to leave for Hajj while 50% of intending pilgrims from Niger State and some states in Nigeria were yet to leave. According to him, leaders are expected to be the last to leave for Hajj to ensure that no intending pilgrim is left behind. The Saudi Arabian airspace will be closed by Wednesday midnight. Meanwhile, the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria has clarified that its chairman, Zirkullah Hassan, had to proceed to Saudi Arabia to enable him to make further arrangements in the interest of Nigerian pilgrims. A statement by the Commission's Assistant Director of Public Affairs, Fatima Sanda Usara, explained that the chairman has mandated the Commissioner of Operations, Abdullahi Magaji Hardawa, to coordinate arrangements in the home front with Deputy Director and Head of Aviation, Engineer Goni Sanda, and Deputy Director of Special Duties, Bashir Jazuli, as assistants.
You can't leave us behind. Sir, you can't leave us behind. I can't accept that. No. It's not acceptable. It's not acceptable, sir. It's not acceptable. Because I won't accept it. Sir, let somebody represent you. Sir, if you live here, okay, tell us to leave. Make a pronouncement that there's no more hard, then we'll leave. If I think there's no more, I will tell you there's not. No, when you are going, you are going, sir. If you are not going, let's go.
Nigerians are lamenting the rising cost of living following soaring food prices as inflation hits a 4-year high. In this report, Ibrahim Ismail from Gombe reports that there is an air of uncertainty among majority of Nigerians as inflation is set for the 8th consecutive monthly increase. The report.
This is the residence of Dr. Habib Muhammad, residing in Tabra area along Gombe bypass. He caters for a family of 10. He said taking care of his family has been very challenging due to inflation. He said prices of basic amenities are highly exorbitant, pushing beyond his affordability limits.
This is because of the hike in food prices. Whatever you used to buy a few years ago, like 100 naira, it is now almost 300. Not just, it is thrice the price you used to buy it. If I may give an example, a few years ago, we used to buy maize, that's corn. The bag is about 7,000, 8,000. This is just 5 years, 5, 6 years. It's about 7,000, 8,000. But now the price is 17, 18, 19. There was a time that the price was more than 20,000. When you look at rice as well, the price is now 19, 17, 18, 19, 20,000. This is per bag.
Habib urged government and other stakeholders to intervene by regulating prices of commodities in markets.
Definitely nobody can do that except the authority, because it is a responsibility of the authority to checkmate the inflation. This is because we don't have shortage of these items. We don't have shortage of rice, shortage of maize. When you go to markets, you see it in abundance. But because of the inflation, so the prices are always hiking.
This year, People from different parts of the world have been crying over high cost of living, a factor that affects the poor and the rich in developed and developing countries, just like in the United Kingdom and Nigeria. From Gombe, Ibrahim Ismail reporting for Trust TV.
The House of Representatives on Tuesday lamented the failure by the leadership of government agencies in charge of fuel supply to respond to its invitations. To this end, the House has read a riot act to the agencies. The agencies are the NNPC, the CBN, the Petroleum Products Marketing Company, the Federal Ministry of Petroleum Resources, and the Federal Ministry of Finance and the Accountant General of the Federation's office. The report.
The ad hoc committee on the volume of daily consumption of fuel was set up on Thursday, sequel to a motion sponsored by Honorable Sergius Ogun at plenary. Part of its mandate was to investigate and determine the daily consumption of PMS, premium motor spirit, in the country. But the absence of critical stakeholders like the NNPC, the NPA, the Central Bank of Nigeria, Accountant General of the Federation, and even the Minister of Finance and her Permanent Secretary at the hearing infuriated members, including the representative of the Speaker, Honorable Peter Akpakthison.
It is not acceptable to the Parliament that people, organizations that are saddled with the responsibility of managing a critical assignment like the distribution and accounting for the distributed and sold PMS in this country will be reluctant to come here to do their duty.
Mr. Speaker, the reason why we had this long list of invitees is as a result of initial engagement we had with some of them, and of course we had some capacity building, twice, one in Abuja and one in Lagos. That was where we came to the conclusion that we need a holistic participation in order to have input from wide range of participants in the oil industry.
The paying agency, which is the CBN, PPMC, and all of those are not here. What data, what facts can we get from those who are also onlookers or contributors? It must first come from them. In a nation where we have an annual appropriation of about 17 trillion and we're spending over 6 trillion on subsidy alone, almost half of the nation's revenue, and nobody takes this seriously. I'm not too sure whether we want the nation to succeed or whether we want it to go completely under.
However, the committee still went ahead with proceeding after intervention by some members advising that legislative time should not be wasted. It then gave time to agencies like IPMAN, DAPMAN, Governors Forum, the Organized Labor, amongst to make submissions.
Mr. Chairman, I want us to look at how many of us who have traveled from far and near to be here, how parliamentary man-hour is very expensive. I want to put some amendment to the motions moved by my colleagues to say that a few of them who are legally here, Mr. Chairman, we can take them. But those who are here and do not have the capacity to represent their bosses, Mr. Chairman, I want to ask that those, we cannot take them. But as Nigerians, Mr. Chairman, they can sit down, they can watch, they can listen, they can be part of what we are doing, but they may not be able to give any evidence that will be acceptable by this committee.
Only last week, there was disagreement between the NMDPRA and IPMAN over bridging the gap as a result of the rising cost of IPMAN's operations, reportedly to the tune of over 70 billion naira in the interim to address the lingering fuel scarcity. The committee thereafter adjourned to a later date.
And away from Nigeria, the suspected gunman in the deadly shooting at a 4th July parade in Highland Park, Illinois, has been charged with 7 counts of first-degree murder. Lake County State's Attorney Eric Reinhardt, who said on Tuesday night that he will ask that the suspect, 21-year-old Robert Bobby Cremo III, be held without bail, added that the county is anticipating dozens of more charges. And that's a wrap on Trust News Update. Watch more via all our social media platforms and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thank you for watching.